Now, Communications Minister Esla Osuekufol has announced the deadline for the SIM card re-registration exercise has been extended for the last time to the end of September. Speaking at a news conference, the Communications Minister says the extending the deadline comes at a place where she is accepting that reluctantly because some Ghanaians abandoned the registration as soon as the last extension was announced.
Now to the vexed question of the deadline. The statistics indicate that there was a 90% drop in SIM registrations as soon as the first deadline was extended on 21st March. Until a week ago, there were no queues at any registration center. People started rushing to register when they realized that the deadline was imminent after going to sleep when it was extended. About 50% of those who have completed the first stage of the process have not concluded the second stage. They have linked their SIMs to the Ghana card, and so that cannot be attributed to Ghana card challenges. I've also been informed that some people who have obtained quick loans from their service providers have decided not to register their SIMs to avoid repaying those loans. That is evil corruption, and you will be found out. The SIM registration app will be available for download on both Android and iOS this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Each registration via the app will be subject to a 5 cedi surcharge. You will pay 5 cedis to register yourself on the SIM registration app. Upon consultation with the industry, and in view of the challenges enumerated above, I have very reluctantly decided to grant a final conditional extension. The program will, and I'm choosing my words carefully, the program will be extended to 30th September to end on the anniversary of its commencement. That will give us 1 full year of SIM registration. It will be reviewed at the end of this month, and any SIM that has not been fully registered by the end of August will be barred from receiving certain services, including voice and data services. It will also be more expensive to use unregistered SIMs. The full range of punitive measures will be announced at another press briefing in September. Kindly do not blame your service provider when you suffer that fate due to your own inaction. To be forewarned is to be forearmed.
Now, Minister for Communication and Digitalization also cited delays in the issuance and distribution of Ghana cards to subscribers as one of 3 challenges hampering the smooth running of the re-registration exercise. According to her, more than 832,000 cards that have been printed have not been claimed by their owners.
The self-service SIM registration app will be ready for commercial launch on Tuesday, 2nd August, as the virtual private network connectivity and API integration with all MNOs was only completed this weekend due to unavoidable circumstances. Adequate time will also be required for the publicity and public education on the use of the self-service SIM registration app, which will enable you to register yourself in the privacy of your own homes without having to queue or go to any network operator. Delays in the issuance of the Ghana card was the largest single challenge bedeviling this exercise. And my information is that the NIA has not been able to issue all eligible persons with a Ghana card, and that as of Thursday, July 21st, 2022, 16,969,034 individuals have registered for the Ghana card, with about 16,535,623 cards printed. 15,702,719 cards have been issued and distributed, whereas some 832,904 cards have not been distributed or collected by those who applied for them.
So let's speak to technology analyst MAXIMUS AMETORGOH on this. Now, you must be happy with government for finally agreeing to use self-service platform. Hello, Ms. AMETORGOH.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, so I think it's long overdue. They should have done this from the beginning, from the onset, that you have an app that people can use to do their registration, and then those who can't find time to go and do the registration can also walk into the various service centers of the telcos to do their registration. For me, what I don't agree with is the amount they are charging. It's not, I think it's not, how do I put it? It's not right to charge people 5 cedis to register a SIM card. I think they should make it free so more people can register, so they will not use that pricing to gate off a lot of people.
You think a lot of people will use that as a reason not to register? How then do you expect government to proceed?
Yeah, I think they should just make it possible that if I go to register my Ghana card, there should be a SIM registration stand there so that I can equally register instantly after I've done my card. I don't see why that shouldn't be possible. And in fact, this should have been done long ago, that if I register my Ghana card, my number that I used to register the card should automatically be verified from that system without me needing to go and give my biodata and other biometric information all over again to a different organization. And then the card that I used, the number I used to register the card is what I will use to register the number again. It doesn't make sense. Technology is supposed to make things very simple and easier and convenient for people, but the inconvenience of this process is not encouraging.
But the minister has also made it clear that it's expensive to undertake such a process, and that's why probably this is being brought on board to ensure that, you know, government and the people meet themselves halfway.
It's expensive. You see, when you say you're solving a cybercrime problem, we are talking about millions of dollars. Designing an app that people will use to just do a registration shouldn't cost you $1 million. So if you are going to make it difficult for people to pay 5 cedis, maybe we have 4 million people who haven't registered for their haven't linked their Ghana card. 4 million times 5 million is how much? 20 million. I'm not sure an app will cost 2 million to design and manage. So why don't you do it for free? The telcos have done it. They've done a simple portal for the registration, and then you continue the process later. I think it's better to do that for free, or get field officers who will use the app to do the registration for people, so that you take the registration centers to the people instead of them going to the registration centers.
With your knowledge of the field, now, where do you perceive the challenge to be coming from? Is it from the National Identification Authority that is probably has not been able to register most people, or it's the reluctance of the citizen to go and get their SIM card re-registered?
I think, you see, the Ghana card, they have not been designed with deadline in mind. Ghana card hasn't been designed like that. So the more people become citizens by way of birth or naturalization, they can go and register their card. If you come to Ghana as a foreigner, you can get the card for the foreigners, right? But the registration for SIM cards is being tagged with a deadline. Now, if Ghana card, the NIA has been designed without a deadline, because people keep, you know, they have a number of cards they can register in a day or a week or a month. And then you have a SIM card that has a registration cap by way of the deadline. Then you have a challenge, because you are going to have people who can't get access to the card on time because the NIA doesn't have the resources and then the time band to be able to, you know, register everybody. Then you have people without cards who must register their SIM card before the deadline that they've given. That deadline, I'm sure, will not work. So I think that we should find a smarter way of resolving this problem. We should have registered everybody with the Ghana card first. Then you do the same card registration after the Ghana card has registered over 90 or 95% of Ghanaians. Then you can even do proxy as the Ghana card is doing. If I have a brother or a sister or a cousin who doesn't have the card, I can register by proxy for them. It's the same thing because you want to identify people.
Now, the NIA itself has also explained that it will be able to give some 2 million cards to people in the next 2 months. Now, with that in mind, and with the deadline of September ending in mind, won't it be a barrier of a sort for people not to get their same cards re-registered? And how do we cross that barrier?
I think that barrier cannot be crossed because, you know, it's a system. You have a number of people you can register for the Ghana card a day. Unless you want them to run 24 hours, I don't know how that is going to be possible. I don't know how many people they can get cards to within the next 2 months. In the next year, of course, this month and September, I'm not sure they can be able to do more than 2 million cards. So it means that a lot more people will still not have the card. And for that matter, they can register their SIM cards. That is going to happen.
Okay. Anyway, let's see what happens when we get to that bridge. Grateful that you find time to join us here on News Desk. That's MAXIMUS AMETORGOH, who is a tech analyst. Meanwhile, the Association of Mobile Money Merchants have kicked against the short extension of the exercise. According to General Secretary of the Association, they expected the extension to be at least for the next 6 months.
In terms of the 2-month grace period, it's heavily tied to the readiness of the card issuing authority, that is the National Identification Authority. Because as we speak now, we have millions of people who are yet to receive the Ghana card and go ahead with the SIM linkage directive. And so we only hope that this 2-month time period, the NIA will be resourced enough, the NIA will decentralize their operations so that Ghanaians will be able to access the services. I mean, they can look at other virtual means of probably making the cards available for purposes of the linkage. That can also be looked at. So that is all that we are hoping for. For the 2 months, we will say it is not that enough, but let's hope how soon and quicker the NIA will be available so that Ghanaians will get the card to go on with the linkage.
Now, the Ghana Health Service has activated a full-scale monkeypox emergency response program in the Upper East region. This follows the death of one person who contracted the disease in the region. The service says an enhanced contact tracing exercise is currently underway to prevent further spread of the virus. Let me take you to our regional correspondent in the Upper East region, Albert Sorry, for more. Albert, good morning. What more can you tell us about this development?
Yes, so this morning, the Ghana Health Service has indicated that they began surveillance on the people who came into contact with this patient who died last Tuesday from monkeypox. A while ago, I was talking to the Regional Health Promotion Officer, Rexford AJ, who says that just like they did with COVID, what they are doing also with monkeypox is that for people who are contacted through the contact tracing method, because they came into contact with this person, they asked these people to do self-isolation while the Ghana Health Service officials will be doing surveillance on them. So they'll basically manage their symptoms. They'll also check for any vital signs that may show that they've contracted the disease, and where necessary, they will take samples for testing, and then they will continue to trace other people as well. So this is the approach they are using. They've also stepped up education and advocacy at the community level. So at every district, what the district health officials are doing is to step up the education of people. One of the things they did with COVID was that they had information vans. They also had health officials who would go to the markets and speak to people, educate them, mostly in the local dialect. So this is the same approach we are basically going to use as far as monkeypox is concerned.
Interesting. What's the history of this person who has also passed on as a result of monkeypox? Do we know?
Yes, so yesterday, before the statement from the Ghana Health Service came out, I was having a conversation with the regional health director because when the news broke out, there were a whole lot of information that was going around. Even most of the local radio stations reported it about this patient. But when we put the questions to the health director, what he said was that normally with cases like this, patient information has to be confidential, so he wouldn't comment on it. But the information we have gathered is that this person may have been a military officer who was admitted at the Bolgatanga hospital.
Unfortunately, we've lost connection to Albert, sorry there, but he was telling us the history of this person. But let's go through the statement by the Ghana Health Service there. Now, it says the Upper East region has recorded a confirmed case of monkeypox disease from the Bolgatanga municipality out of 3 suspected cases investigated so far. This is the first confirmed case in the region. The confirmed case was, is what has led us to where we are today. But it has also says, we urge the public to remain calm and ensure the following to protect themselves from monkeypox infection. Now, 1, avoid skin-to-skin, face-to-face, and mouth-to-skin contact with infected persons and animals. Clean hands under running water with soap or alcohol sanitizer. Also, clean object surfaces, bedding, towels regularly. Wear a face mask if you can't avoid close contact, and when handling bedding, towels and clothes of uninfected persons. Again, avoid contact with dead animals, and also report to the nearest clinic or hospital if you have fever and skin rashes. These are the things the Ghana Health Service has put out there for us to follow in order to prevent the spread of this monkeypox disease. Now, to other stories now. In kindergarten pupils at the Fanyinoma Basic School in the Kintampo North Municipality of the Bono East region have been forced to study under trees several months after a rainstorm destroyed the school's KG block. The school is also without toilet facilities, forcing the over 600 pupils and teachers of the school to resort to open defecation. Authorities say the current situation is affecting general academic activities of the school and are appealing to government and philanthropists to intervene. And as Sabit has more.
This is the Fanyinoma Basic School. The school, located few meters away from the Kintampo North Municipal Assembly, currently has a population of over 600 pupils. KG1 and 2 pupils of the school are currently forced to study under trees several months after parts of this pavilion accommodating them had its roof ripped off by torrential rainstorm. Florence Anoma is the head of the KG department of the school.
The reason is our structure, the KG structure, is at the death trap, so you can't stay there. That's why we are under the tree. Because if anything happens, it will cause damage to the children. So we have to come to sit under the tree till they finish the structure for us.
She says the current situation is heavily affecting academic activities, especially during the rains.
Mostly it affects the way we teach, because under the tree there's no board for you to write on, unless you go and bring the children their exercise book for them to write. After that, you send it back. When it's about to rain, we join the primary children in the class. After the rain, then we close. Because the place is so wet, you can't come and sit under the tree.
For the assistant headmaster of the school, Oti Joseph, his greatest worry has to do with the fact that some parents have decided to take away their walls from the school due to the current situation.
When somebody comes and he sees the condition of the school, he may not like to bring the ward here. And some people have also taken their wards away because of the situation. So actually it is affecting enrollment.
Amongst the school's tall list of challenges is the absence of a toilet facility for the over 600 pupils and teachers of the school. Michael Hapori is the headmaster of the school. He laments that the pupils of the school are resorting to open defecation, which is affecting the people living in the area.
Here we face a lot of challenges. One is that our classrooms are overpopulated, they are overcrowded, which makes teaching very difficult. The other challenge is about our toilet facility, because the school has been established for decades ago, and up to now, we don't have any toilet facility.
Not even a single one?
Not even a single one. So anytime the children want to ease themselves, free themselves, they have to go to the bush. And even some 3 days ago, a woman came here, complained that they've been easing around her house. So we should warn the children not to come again. So it's also a very big challenge.
This is affecting teaching and learning, as several teaching hours are lost as teachers travel to their homes whenever they have to attend the nature's call.
In fact, when it comes to the teachers, some of them have to travel back to their homes to go and ease themselves and come, and this takes a lot of time. The children too, some also cross the road to the other side of the road to ease themselves in the bush, and this, there was a time a child was knocked down by a vehicle through that activity. So it's a very big challenge. And the children too, because they go to the bush, they have to travel far. And this sometimes will be classes, the teacher will be in the classroom and the child have to travel to a very far place to ease himself or herself before he or she will come back. And this has been posing a lot of challenges to us.
Michael Hapori, however, disclosed that even though the assembly sent experts to assess the situation, nothing is being done about it.
The MC also made his people to come and look at a site for a toilet. But since then, we've not heard anything from them again.
He therefore appealed for support from municipal authorities and other philanthropists.
Our plea that they should come to our aid by way of getting us additional classroom blocks, toilet facility, to make our work easier for us.
Alan Sabit, Joy News, Kintampo.
Now let's still stay in education, because children in Boteman are forced to walk through a river before being able to access formal education. This is because the bridge on that river has collapsed and nothing has been done about it since. I've spent some time monitoring how these children cross this drain, and here's more. This is what residents here in Boteman call the Boteman Storm Drain. Some even prefer to call it a river. It is located between Kanewu and this community, around the old Zoomlion recycling factory on the Tema motorway. It flows through Boteman and crosses the motorway through Community 18 into the sea. Young school kids are left with no option but to cross this river every day to school. Kwesi lifts young children who cannot cross the stream on their own. I'm told this is a daily occurrence. Abigail is a basic 5 people who lives in Boteman and schools at Kanewu near Ashaiman. She's been crossing this river to school for the past 2 years. She says the situation makes schooling difficult for her and the kids here in Boteman. How dangerous is this passage to your community?
Sometimes cars pass here, they fall inside the water. That's what I say.
Wow. What does it mean to you? Do you become afraid to go to school? What is it?
Please, yes. I'm afraid for that. But if rain fall, the river, you don't, how the way we will cross the road and go to the school, we don't get it.
It is not only Abigail who is concerned. Mr. Soyi is the proprietor of Ask God Preparatory School, the school Abigail attends. He has to carry his students to cross the river on a daily basis. He tells me the problem is forcing many kids to stay home without going to school.
This place has been a big challenge, especially the vulnerables. We have a city here or a town here called BOATERIGU. A lot of students are there. Every day, you have not even seen anything. If it rains and nobody can pass here, meaning all the children have to stay home without learning that day. That is what we are going to. A whole lot of students are dead in this water. And we have called on, speaking out, crying out, no help. So we are still calling on our leaders and parents and the whole Ghana, our president, and everybody as a whole, stakeholders, to see to this bridge so that we can save our vulnerables, our future leaders, and make their life bright.
How many children have died? You said children have died. How many have died here?
If I cannot count at all, I think not less than 3 I've witnessed, but they are more than that, far more than that, Director.
But apart from this, are there no other routes that kids can use to go to school?
Not at all. This is the only access to this town. There's no road. There's another one here. That one too, there's a gutter. You can't cross. So all the children, most children are staying home because they can't have access to cross the place to school.
Young Abigail said she and other children in the community want to go to school, and it is their wish that government fixes the bridge for them.
Please, we want President to come and do our rain for us because we cannot go to the school. If rain fall, the road is not good for the children to cross the way. That's what I wanted to say for the president.
For Abigail and her friends and all other residents of this community, this is a prayer for a better day to come, for their bridge to be constructed. They can only hope for a brighter day someday. For JoyNews, I am Samuel Kojo Brace, Boteman. We're following the story and to see what authorities can do to make sure this is repaired. We're going to take a quick break. When we come, we have details on more stories for you. Welcome back from the break. The number of people queuing to register their SIM cards have reduced at the premises of telecommunication service providers in Kumasi. This is after the registration exercise, which was to end last month, was extended for 2 months. Nana Jima visited some registration centers and now reports.
Few days to 31st of July, that is when the SIM re-registration was supposed to end. A number of people would come to the MTN office here at Aija to get the service rendered to them. A lot of people wouldn't even get space within the tents that have been created for them. There were overflows, but today, that is the 1st of August, when the re-registration exercise has been extended, a lot of people wouldn't come, or the numbers are not as encouraging as we saw last week. There are still a number of empty spaces within the tents that have been created for the re-registration exercise, but the service provider here, that is MTN, is ensuring that whoever comes here gets the needed service that they came here for. They've deployed a lot of staff who will be going through the seats, trying to engage people and help them go through the process. Let's speak to some of the people who have come for the service to be rendered to them.
I'm a Ghana card mistake. Me could be almost say corrections.
So he says he had some issues with his Ghana card. He had to rectify them, and the National Identification Authority wouldn't do it in time for him to register his SIM. So now he's using the old one, that is the one with the error in the name, to register and subsequently rectify the Ghana card so that it will affect the registration that he's doing here. What's the key clarification so we go through?
My register
she has done hers. She just got herself a new SIM card and she would want to register that as well. So that's why he's here today. So from what I've witnessed here today, it takes less than 10 minutes to get your SIM card re-registered here at AJA. That's the MTN office at AJA. Now, it's unclear why we are not seeing the huge numbers that we witnessed here last week. The MTN officials here believe that if people should wait till the last day for the extension, it will be a challenge for them to get hooked onto the system or for their SIM cards to be re-registered for them. For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
Kumasi, Beverly Broom joins us live in Accra with business. Beverly, you're looking nice.
Prince. Thank you. Now to business. The Design and Technology Institute, a TVET training institute, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The MOU is meant to strengthen the implementation of the precision quality curriculum and help the university produce excellent professionals in the TVET space.
The main aim of the MOU is to help the university produce excellent professionals in the TVET space. Chief Executive of DTI, Ms. Constance Elizabeth Swanica, said the action is going to bridge the gap between academia and the world of work. She emphasized on the need for industry professionals to work closely with the universities to train industry-ready students. Under the project, DTI will recruit and train 1,000 youth in precision fabrication and work readiness and improve on the work skills and practices of 500 master craft persons and 1,000 SMEs through the Precision Quality Training Program.
And so today I present to you curriculum that I designed alongside industry professionals that I worked with to bring to institutions such as KNUST and other technical universities to bring you industry-ready insights of what industry is looking for. I think one of the most powerful things that we realize that once you have a growth mindset, anything is possible. And so the precision quality curriculum that I'll present to you today is all about soft skills. For me, this is even more powerful than hard skills. Most employers complain that young graduates come out and they can't even speak. They're not articulate. They don't have emotional intelligence. You know, the sort of skills that industry requires that school would have taught you. And so the PQ curriculum, the precision quality curriculum, is how do we train our young people to have what we call a precision quality mindset? That everything that we do should have this ethos of what precision and quality looks like, especially when we're working with high quality industries. You have graduates that would have, you know, come out of the School of Engineering and will be working, and you would expect that, you know, they can work with artisans who they're supposed to be managing, but rather you have artisans who are telling these so-called managers what to do, and so that there's an issue. And so we would hope that with the signing of the MOU, this is just to strengthen the need for universities to please pay attention to the crucial need to transition young people properly into the world of work.
The Pro Vice Chancellor of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Ellis Owusu-Dabo, expressed his gratitude and highlighted that this is a step towards achieving the university's goal of empowering students with industrial competence.
And so we believe that it's a model of quality incubator and demonstration. And we want to assure you that this is only adding up to what we have. Indeed, we have several of such models in this university at the moment because of the seriousness of what we do. We have what we call the Enterprises Development Board There's an industry liaison officer who is liaising between our good selves and the industry. We have the incubator unit, and students increasingly are demonstrating their entrepreneurial skills. We believe that this is the way by which we can stem the tide of this increasing unemployment.
Reporter for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Away from that, as Ghana embarks on an industrialization agenda to transform the economy, some investors are calling on the government to devise strategies to benefit from digital manufacturing solutions. According to Sales Director for Sinus Ghana Limited, Justice Liu, this will support the country to achieve utmost production, efficiency, cost, effectiveness, and enhance overall output. He was speaking to Joy Business at the launch of Sinus Swallow Maker.
Digital manufacturing technologies link systems and processes across all areas of production to create an integrated approach to manufacturing, from design to production and on to the servicing of the final product. At the launch of the Sinus Swallow Maker machine, Sales Director Justin Liu said local manufacturing companies should leverage digital technologies to benefit their manufacturing operations.
From the terms of technology views, that's the core of a Sinus brand, actually. Example, based on our owner, our chairman's his philosophy, we want to let the product speak first. Before we really do the TV commercials, all these marketing activities, the technology important. Also, we need to provide affordable technology. Let the people to enjoy the technology to bring the convenience and the innovation to the daily lives.
Marketing manager for Sinus Ghana, Sefa Richard, said manufacturers can create a factory that is connected, networked, and fully integrated environment, enabling them to use real-time data analytics to optimize the entire manufacturing process and realize productivity gains.
You and I believe that when it comes to technological advancement, the earliest reception is normally not favorable, you understand? But in due course of time, the result speaks for itself, in the sense that, well, we have a lot of criticism coming in that we are trying to, dilute or maybe reprogram the minds of Ghanaians as to how to prepare the food, our local and traditional food.
Digital manufacturing enables manufacturers to eliminate bottlenecks, reduce inventory, improve quality, shorten time to market, and expand the number of products made.
That's it for business. We have more business stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good morning.
Now, a health center has been commissioned to provide access to emergency health care for the people of BOATARIGU in the BOATERIGU Nakpanduri district of the Northeast region. According to officials, the hospital was built in response to the people's plight, particularly pregnant women who were forced to endure extreme pain in order to get maternal care. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the Member of Parliament, Abednego Bandim, who facilitated the construction of the facility, said the facility will bring dignity to childbearing and improve the lifespan of the resident. Correspondent Elias Utanko was at the commissioning ceremony and filed this report.
Due to the lack of a healthcare facility and the poor nature of the road, we are losing babies and pregnant women here. A lot of women have lost their pregnancies because of the nature of our road. But with the coming of this facility, we hope to see women having safe deliveries in this community. Women in the community of BOATARIGU recount the painful experiences pregnant and labor patients are having to undergo to safely deliver their babies. In this small village located a few miles north of the town of Nakpanduri in the BOATERIGU Nakpanduri district, the women say child delivery has become almost a matter of life and death. The road is in a poor state, so getting to the nearest facility in Nakpanduri is always a risky encounter for pregnant women. Many are those who have been left with severe complications, and others have lost their lives and babies. The community of nearly over 1,000 inhabitants is without a healthcare center even for emergency services, and people who fall sick have to travel by motorcycle or trek to either Nakpanduri or Bintiri, and most often further to the regional capital several kilometers away on a bad road for medical treatment. This has resulted in many preventable fatalities and health complications among other implications. Now, the situation is about to change with the commission of a CHIPS facility which will now bring healthcare to the doorsteps of the community folks and end the years of health inequalities they faced. At the commissioning ceremony, the Member of Parliament Abednego Bandim, who facilitated the construction of the facility, explained why he decided to seek help on behalf of the people of BOATARIGU.
During the 2020 electioneering campaign, I witnessed women suffer so much pain in order to give birth. There were occasions where I witnessed a woman give birth on the streets, in the gutter, with all due respect. And I thought that was so demeaning of our women to be given birth in gutters at this time in our history as a country. So after the elections, I thought it wise to seek for assistance from other non-governmental organizations to relieve the pain of our women.
He said the facility was funded by the global non-governmental organization, the Catholic Relief Services, through his unrelenting effort, and reminded the government of the new Patriotic Party to complete all critical social infrastructure that have been abandoned across the district.
I will say, anytime I'm speaking, they give me minutes, but no problem. I'm a politician. I will say that just as CRS has been kind enough for us, our government will also see to complete most of the abandoned projects in the district. It is very important. My senior brother is here, the regional minister, Your Excellency. I remember I was in your office about a year ago to plead with you that the bridges in Kambatiak, Nanya, up to Bumpurgu be completed. Please, I still plead that you use your influence as the regional minister to ensure that those projects are completed, and many other projects in the district that need to be completed.
The new facility was also provided with a tricycle ambulance and a motorbike for administrative duties of the staff. The commissioning ceremony was attended by both global and regional leaders of the CRS, staff of the Bumpurgu Nakpanduri District Assembly, including the District Chief Executive, the Regional Minister and his entourage, traditional and religious leaders and members of the community who were delighted and thanked CRS for the intervention. Elias Sutanko reporting from BOATARIGU in the Northeast region for JoyNews.
Now, the Upper West Regional Minister has observed that though the Upper West region has enormous human resources for it to require development, it is still lagging behind because of disagreement in politics, religion, and chieftaincy. He therefore urged the people to forge for the speedy development of the region. Dr. Hafiz bin Sali made the statement at the opening of a law chambers by a former president of the Upper West Regions chapter of the Ghana Bar Association, lawyer Clement Eledi. JoyNews' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam report from Wa.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali noted that the region is endowed with all the requisite human resources, and what is left for the people is to come together and harness those resources for the speedy development of the region. He penciled three of the issues which has plagued the development of the region and which needs to be put on the back burner.
Let's do away with the little and petty grumblings in the area of politics, religion, and chieftaincy, and hold together. Once we hold together, we'll make the Upper West region a shining place for people to come and then learn from us.
Dr. bin Sali revealed that the Simon Diedon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDD UBITS, will soon run courses on law, urging the people to take advantage of it.
When the faculty begins to call for admissions, people should apply, acquire the needed knowledge, and come and then serve our dear region.
The opening of the law chambers in the region by lawyer Clement Iledi is the second in a year after lawyer Tedio Sori at Law Consult. Lawyer Clement Iledi sees the opportunity to talk about other facets of development which has been overlooked over the years, retracing the route of his personal development when he was called to the bar 35 years ago.
When we talk development, people are thinking about mortar and brick. But mortar and brick is not the only development. Development also means that we have to bring services to the doorstep of our people. Almost 35 years ago, when I was called to the bar, I was the first resident lawyer in Upper West from Upper West. And like the president said, for our young colleagues, you will see a lady today and think I flew to be where I am. I didn't fly. It is by dint of hard work. I started on foot. I rode a bicycle for national service. I rode a motorcycle. And indeed, my people in the chambers today tells me when he wanted to be a lawyer, his friends will say, but you want to be like a lady, riding a motorcycle.
A view equally shared by Senior State Attorney at the Office of the Attorney General's Department, Lawyer Saeed Abdul Shakur, who sees the practice of law in the region as purely sacrificial.
There are not too many lawyers who are prepared to sacrifice and work from Upper West region. Working in Upper West region is obviously sacrificial because the biggest thing they will give you is at some point, Munasumi and Baraka, that's what we have. We have been using the Munasumi and Baraka. Probably that's what is keeping us alive. But I'm saying that it is not all about money. Sometimes the satisfaction we get when we avail our service to our people is better than any money anybody can give to us.
President of the Upper West Region chapter of the Ghana Bar Association, Lawyer Obeidu bin Siddiq, urged colleague lawyers to open up more chambers in the region, but not in a hurried manner.
Even though it has taken Senior Iledi a number of years or decades to open the chambers, I am aware he was practicing with Senior Sore. But the point I want to make is that it is not a matter of opening chambers, but you should do it at the time that it is ripe for you to do it. Let's don't hurry.
Also at the function was former Upper West Region Minister, Engineer Amin Amidu Suleimani.
We all know the role that lawyers play in society, and I will just end up by urging that they should continue, not just trying to be our client, but also direct us to stay away from trouble so that we don't come to pay monies to them. It's part of your education to educate us to stay away from trouble.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wah.
And that's how we wrap up today's bulletin. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo. Brace to enjoy the rest of our programs. Good morning.